Welcome back, people, to another episode of Talking Noise Podcast. What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Going on?
What's up, man?
I mean, it's always a lot going on, like these weeks that we don't be around each other and things like that. So, I've been chilling. Just got off vacation. A couple days away from the job, but it's good to be back. At work sometimes, you need that work-life balance to kind of do some different things. What y'all been up to?
Pretty simple week for me. Same routine. I crossed over to the dark side. I bought an iPhone this weekend. I don't know what I was thinking. But
you made the right decision.
Right. Trying to figure out how to use this thing, That's it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. You with the blue squad now instead of that green squad. It's much better. You don't like it?
I mean, it's a lot different.
Yeah, it is a lot different now from Android.
Definitely it's a whole lot different. I mean, I get to take the
not tech savvy, so that's probably what it is.
once you play with it a little bit and get it, you'll figure it out. Like it'll be natural after a while.
I hope so, because it's not now.
I mean, you only had it a week. Come on now. Yeah. You'll be all right. Watching a month, you can be like, I know how to do everything. Well, at least most of it. But like I tell people, you only use your phone for calling people, texting people on social media or the internet, whatever you want to use. So that's pretty much the phone. So
pretty much everything.
Too much more you ain't doing too much more of that.
Well, you got to think. I mean, y'all iPhone users, there's really nothing else y'all can do on your phones. But we'll talk about that another time.
I mean, we can do more than that. But anyway, means you got some flowers to give out or what?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you started this trend last week. I'm trying to see if you got some flowers to give out.
So last week, 2 weeks ago, last podcast, it was Steph Curry, who I think we'll get a little more, I think, into him later. But this week, I gotta give the flowers to the good brother down up or across the east across the East Coast.
It'll be across the East Coast for you.
But it's down for Derrick and up for Harp. It's Russell Westbrook, man. This man is he's actually playing right now. This man's on a tear right now. 21, 11, and 11. He's basically uplifted this Wizards team, in my opinion. If you ask me, he is the leader of this team. They play better with him on the court. They guys started off kind of bad because I guess he was hurt. From what I've been told, he was hurt, and so now he's getting healthy. And then I think also I heard them say on the TV earlier, and it makes a lot of sense. Is you got to get used to that intensity that Russell Westbrook plays with, man. And number 2 all time in triple doubles behind Oscar Robertson. He 29 triple doubles this season. People act like triple doubles is nothing because he makes it look so easy. But like he said, that it ain't easy, man. And
it's impressive. And it ain't just like a 10 or 11 rebounds. It's 15, 16 up there.
He's on the boards. And so, I just got to give my boy his flowers. Russ, triple-double king, man. About it. He'll probably pass Russell. He has a chance to pass Oscar Robertson this year for all-time triple-doubles, if I'm not mistaken. So he has 175 and Oscar Robertson has 181. So he has a chance to pass it. So we'll see. Shout out to Russell Westbrook.
I can tell Mark has something to say because he's been itching to say so. You should have seen his face. Go ahead. What you got to say, man? He about to downplay it now.
Well, So his last point, I agree, man. He's a great competitor, man. He's with a lot of teams. I don't know if need is the right word, but I got a question for you, Mies. Great triple-double machine will go down all time as probably one of the best to ever triple-double. Do you feel like triple doubles are MVP worthy?
Do I feel like triple doubles are MVP worthy? Yeah, if it was not Russell Westbrook, I think he got MVP, and one of those. What do he have? What does he have? 2 or he has 1 MVP?
One.
Well, the one
he
he was killing. Yeah, and so now I think with triple doubles with him, it's just like, oh, okay, it's just like, oh, it's nothing. So it's like with Giannis Antetokounmpo and MVP, it's like voter fatigue, and I think that's kind of, it's a triple double fatigue. It's a fatigue thing. Like, okay, we see him getting this all the time, so it's nothing new. So it would be MVP worthy if it was, somebody else that was on this tear with the triple double thing. But I mean, for Russell Westbrook, no, it's not MVP worthy. No.
Well, it got him an MVP for a triple double, so I'll say it helped him out. But you forgot to give somebody they flowers.
Who?
Chris Paul passed Magic Johnson for the number 5th spot on the all-time assists list in NBA history. So even though I'm really critical,
surprised.
I'm really critical on Chris Paul.
I can't believe you even mentioned my man.
But
you're growing as a man.
I'm giving flowers, and I'm gonna give honor when it's due, and so I'm gonna give Chris Paul his flowers for that big accomplishment.
Point guard.
Point guard. Usually I call him CP0, but I'm gonna be respectful. Shout out to the North Carolina brother Chris Paul for passing Magic on that list. But I mean, that was basketball, but we got to get into this NFL draft that's coming up soon. Actually this week, but we don't want to label that this week, but it's coming up soon. The NBA draft. A lot of different, prospects. This is going to be a unusual kind of draft because a lot of people are targeting quarterbacks, defense, and it's kind of like that top heavy of the draft that people are going to be selecting those quarterbacks, and they're going to be flying like left and right. We kind of made a list, or what we're going to do, top 5. What y'all want to do?
Well, before you start there, not only that, for how you saying it's a weird year, this is probably even more abstract year because of the COVID, but this is probably the first time that scouts haven't been able to, really probably meet with these players like they want to, as much as they won't see as much outside of watching film as they want to. So yeah, I agree. It's probably going to be some guys taken that you wouldn't normally expect in spots this year, even more so than normal.
I definitely agree with that. This will be a crazy year. This will be a different year, like you said. Yeah.
It's going to be odd, and I think it's going to be some surprises.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be some surprises. I think the top 2 are pretty much set in stone, but once it gets to that 3rd pick and on down, then it could kind of, switch it up. So, I mean, we did a top 5 pretty much of the prospects in this draft coming up. I can go mine. I'm pretty sure everybody got the same one. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who's going number 1 to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence.
Did y'all? No brainer.
No brainer, right? Class act, went to Clemson, balled out. I had a few kind of X's on what he did in big games his last 2 years, how he kind of struggled a little bit in those last 2 years. So that's kind of my take of looking at him in big games and big moments. Has he shined in those big moments? We saw 3 years ago when he played against Alabama and they killed them and how they was killing. But the next year when they played LSU, you didn't score a touchdown. Your offense didn't score a touchdown. And he struggled that game. And then the year after that, when they played Ohio State, it was a back and forth game. They kind of went up. I think he scored the first touchdown, and then Ohio State scored, and then I think they scored again. And then that's when Ohio State went up. What was the score at half? 35-14 at half. And then that's when Clemson came back out and scored in the second half. And then Ohio State went up like 3 touchdowns, and then it was pretty much after that. So the offense kind of struggled under him in the big game. So that's what I feel like he might come in the league kind of struggling a little bit. I don't know if he's going to have the whole year struggling, but I think that as far as the top quarterback in this draft, Maybe, but
Wow.
it's to see. I'm not gonna say that he's not. I will say that he is, but I'm pretty sure somebody on this list, Justin Fields, that can compete with him on the same level. So that's just my take on Trevor Lawrence and what I saw from him, and some of the biggest games on the biggest stage.
Right.
Yeah, man. What would that be? The Jaguars coming out. Yeah, man. I feel like I don't necessarily feel I agree. I don't think he's a generational talent, but when you watch him play, he looks like the best player on the field pretty much every time you see him play, other than those couple championship games, or I don't know if they were out national, but yeah. But him going to the Jaguars, to me, that worries me a little bit. But I don't know, man. I know they got a new coach. What's their coach now? The guy from college.
Urban.
I can't think. Urban Meyer. There you go. I think he's going to help him, especially the first couple of years to get him to college. Kind of the Cam Newton treatment he got his first couple of years in Carolina. So I think that'll help him out.
Yeah, just to add on, I'm not going to harp on this too much. Trevor Lawrence, number one. He's going to have Urban Meyer. I think he's going to be good in Jacksonville. Urban can, like Harp just said, he was going to kind of bring that college style, help him out as he gets started and everything. And I don't have too much on Trevor Lawrence. I'm not too high. I'm not too low on him. But everybody says he's going to Jacksonville, so that's like a lock. So he's going to Jacksonville. So
what's y'all hate on Lawrence, man? I don't see it.
I'm not impressed. Like I'm not impressed. But
it's like I'll say it's not like he's far ahead of the pack.
Right. It's not. It's exactly. I don't see nothing.
But he is ahead of the pack.
He is ahead of the pack, but I'm saying he's not far.
I mean, I don't even think he's the. I don't even think that he's the highest IQ quarterback on the board. Like I think that Mac Jones is the highest IQ quarterback on the board. Honestly,
he said Mac Jones. Wow.
Like I think he will come. I'll save it for when I got him. If I do have him.
I have plenty takes for that.
We could go into number two. I mean, I'm thinking everybody going for the Jets. They taking Zach Wilson, right?
Yes, pretty much already set in stone.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. The first two pretty much set in stone. Now this will get tricky. I mean, we got the first two out the way. Trevor Lawrence, congrats. Zach Wilson, congrats. Let's get into the 49ers. They made that trade to get to the number 3 spot. It's not looking good for Jimmy G. It's not looking good for Jimmy G.
But first, you need to say what was the trade?
Competition. You said what? Sorry.
So it's a little context behind that trade. I don't know if y'all know.
I think it came from Houston, right? That was the Houston trade who was the team they traded with?
They traded with the Dolphins, but yeah, you mentioned Houston. That was the
Houston trade.
So the rumor that I got this week was the trade I think was 3 first-round picks, another pick, something like that, another guy, something like that. But anyway, I heard the rumor was that this was supposed to be the trade for Houston's quarterback, who has recently gotten in trouble, a little trouble with the law. But I don't know. I don't understand. And me, I'll lead this for you. I don't understand how you go from trading 3 first-round picks, I believe another pick and another defensive player. I think it was for what's Houston's quarterback? I can't think his name.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson. How do you go from giving up that to, okay, we're just going to turn our attention and give up the same amount that I'm giving up for an all-pro, Pro Bowl quarterback in his prime for a guy I've never seen play in the NFL that comes from Alabama, and I would love for y'all to tell me the last quarterback from Alabama that has impressed you in the NFL.
None. I mean, if you count,
Jalen Hurts, he shows flashes.
He ain't impressive to me, but I mean, he's probably the most impressive. But
that's the top of your list.
I mean, Tua was okay.
Oh,
but
my bad. I forgot about
I ain't gonna say he was like over the top.
Well,
I mean, he still got a starting job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you say, we forgot about my man. You know, he didn't look good last year. He didn't look good.
But you got to realize Tua didn't play a whole year of football prior. He also came in, mid-season. It's his first year. He didn't play a whole year. So, I mean, you got to give my guy a break, man. Give my guy a break.
I do to a certain extent. So my only issue with this, and I've talked about this with friends for a while, if you go down the line of, I'm not even just quarterbacks from Alabama, if you take away the secondary or the receivers they've had a run of a couple running backs recently. It's so hard to gauge guys from Alabama how good they are because you're playing with all the best talent in the nation.
Well, what's the talent in the NFL? Like, that's the best of the best. So, I mean,
but it's spread out. You got to think the third string guys on Bama could probably start for other SEC teams. You got the best line.
But when you think about the SEC, you playing some of the top talent.
You are
that goes into the draft. So that schedule is like that schedule's like playing a pro schedule.
I agree with that. I agree. But why do these guys fail so much in the NFL? At all positions.
Some might not be built for it.
Oh no, you talking about Alabama?
Yes.
That only position that really kind of fails at Alabama is the quarterback position.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Okay, so beyond the running back for the Titans, who's your running back? Because they've had a lot. What's my man? Lacy for Green Bay, Ingram. I mean, he's decent, but he's not what his draft order was. I'm trying to think of the other run. I mean, they always have a guy.
You got Josh Jacobs. You got Damian Harris. You got a lot of running backs spread out. Sony was Georgia. They not.
Oh, okay.
They not.
SEC.
They not. Oh, we talking SEC or we talking?
No. You're right on the bell. He's the SEC. I said that Georgia has a lot of the same problems.
You got Julio. You got Calvin Johnson. You got Amari.
No, I said receivers. Receivers.
And then they offensive linemen. They're offensive linemen. They always have great defensive linemen. You got
linebackers.
Linebackers.
I'm just saying. I look at their team. Okay, so you're coming from. Let's say you're coming from high school. I'm sure these guys go to 8-star, 7-star high school powerhouses. You're playing with all the best kids in the nation that's going to go to these Georgias, these Alabamas. I get it. To me, it's just like, if I'm a running back, I've never ran into the hole and the hole's not this big. Right. So when I get to the league and the hole is never this big, it's hard. I think it's hard for these guys to adjust. Your quarterback. His quarterback was throwing the ball to the Heisman winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real easy. I'm never saying it's real easy, but it's
most
a lot
of the time
easier.
They had running backs, though. They had a running back that would, Najee Harris. All right, well, they did have Najee Harris, but Najee Harris, he all right. I mean, he's not going to go as high
right now.
But is he going
to go top 2 running back in this draft?
Okay, well, yeah, he's the top 2 running back in the draft.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just think I say 49ers are going to take Mac Jones because Kyle Shanahan loves him. He loves him for one, and then from what I've been told and what I've been reading, he's the highest IQ. Like he can come. They believe he can come in the league and pick up the plays and be able to read defenses faster than any other quarterback on this board.
But to your point right there, the high IQ. I get what you're saying, but to me, when they say that for these quarterbacks, for players, when that's the first, when you say, "Hey man, tell me about Mac Jones. What's his best feature? He's smart." To me, that's like a cop out to he's not that good.
He can throw the ball. He can clearly throw the ball. He can clearly throw the ball. So I mean, we see that. I don't know. I just think that this is a good fit for him. He's gonna have George Kittle. He's gonna have Debo. He's gonna have some pretty good guys around him. He's gonna have a running game, an offensive line. So it's not going to be pressure on him to make throws. He's basically got to be Jimmy Garoppolo. Which
he got to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
For his first year, he just got to. If he's the same level as Jimmy Garoppolo. He's gonna get the start. He's younger. That means he's gonna his potential is higher. You know, the ceiling's higher. And so I mean, I like Mac Jones going to the 49ers, but I got other intentions and I got other reasons too.
But Shanahan's job is on the line with this draft pick, I feel. If he whiffs on this kid from trading 3 first-round picks for this guy,
he can be. Some people think he could be Rookie of the Year in the Shanahan offense.
Well, they're looking at winning a Super Bowl. Rookie of the Year is nice. But like the team that he got, I feel like you should have made that trade for Watson or for Russell Wilson or something. That's the type of I need a guy that's going to be able to get me there now. Not a guy that I'm not sure about.
I'm sure they inquired, but you can't. Those guys ain't going. Like, what are you gonna do? They're looking for a quarterback for right now. They are obviously not happy with Jimmy Garoppolo. So I mean, what you want them to do? I think it was smart to trade up to the 3rd because now you can pick because they probably could have got Mac. I think where were they at? Like the 12th or something?
Yeah, exactly.
But look, you did this because they wanted to be able to choose. They might not go Mac Jones. They might go Trey Lance. They might go Justin Fields. They got that choice. They got the choice. Like the ball is in their court. Or they could have been at 12 biting their fingernails like my Patriots probably going to do and wait for one of these quarterbacks to hopefully drop. And
it's going to be Mac Jones.
Yeah,
I hope so. I'll take. I don't think so.
That's what it's gonna be.
I think Mac going 3rd. But who do you guys have? I'm sorry. Who do y'all have going?
I got
Trey Lance should be the pick.
Yeah, Trey Lance or Mac Jones. I've been hearing Mac Jones a lot over the last couple of weeks, but Trey Lance has snuck in there over the last week.
They say the scouts want Trey Lance.
They say Trey Lance has more upside than Lawrence.
I mean, he might.
And if you look at the type, all right, so you look at the top quarterbacks in this draft.
Trey Lance, though. I like Trey.
We talked about Lance, Wilson, Lawrence. I think we're leaving out Fields. All of these guys are the new age of quarterback. Like they all kind of got some Mahomes in them. That's where the league, the Russell Wilson, that's where the league go. I know Tom Brady the GOAT. Tom Brady's the GOAT, Derrick. Tom Brady is the GOAT. But that type of quarterback, man.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it's going out of style. No yeah, it's going out of style. Yeah.
Why are you throwing all your eggs in your basket for yesterday's quarterback? I just don't understand that. If that's what they do.
I mean, hey man, they got to play it. I mean, Kyle Shanahan.
You feel like they shouldn't draft Matt?
No.
So who do you got?
No. I feel like you could have drafted Matt at 12 and maybe.
But he might not be there. He might not be there.
Well, like I said, this draft is crazy.
They wanted to be able to be the person to make the decision to make everybody else.
Exactly. If you go to 12, so you got Miami. We talk about the 49ers pick, then you got the Falcons, Bengals, right?
Panthers, Broncos.
Then you got Miami, Lions, Panthers, Broncos, Cowboys, Giants, Eagles. So,
I mean, if you get past
the Panthers might pick a quarterback.
Panthers or Broncos, then you would be good, but you don't know what they're gonna take. So
you don't. That's true. That's true. I just feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on this kid, and 2, that's a lot of draft capital. Like you're giving up your number 1 guy for the next 2 years for this guy that you really possibly could have got at 10, at 12.
Most definitely.
If that's who they pick. But
they might not go Mac Jones. They might go Trey Lance, but that's why they moved up to 3 because they got that option. So now they can but that kind of sucks though because that's like when you're putting a bet in and you wake up and say, oh yeah, I'm going to bet this. And then it's like you wait in a couple hours, you go put it in and it's like, oh, hold on. It gives you time, too much time to change your mind. So better stick to your guns. Who do y'all have at 4 for Atlanta?
Atlanta going Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. That's another probably lock.
Kyle Pitts, freak of nature, wide receiver body. Probably
Jimmy Graham.
He might be the best player in this draft, I would say.
He is
NFL ready. I think I was listening earlier on our team call today because they was talking about the Eagles and who they was going to pick, and the people mentioned Kyle Pitts. He'll be, if he gets drafted at 4, he'd be the highest tight end ever picked in the NFL draft. And
really?
another thing, yeah, I think and he only one pick ahead. You know, I think the highest was 5th, but he'll be 4th. And if um, five or more quarterbacks go in the first round, I think that'll be the highest in NFL history.
That's happening
Uh,
easy.
I think the last one was 83 when Dan Marino was drafted in that draft. So yeah, pound for pound guy, speed, just like my boy Jonnu Smith for the Patriots. You already know. But he got speed, and I think he's gonna be a stud coming into the gate, and I think he'd be good for Matt Ryan and kind of open up the field for Julio if they don't trade him, and Calvin Ridley and some of those other guys on that team. But they need to get some defense too in Atlanta.
They need a lot in Atlanta. Let's just be honest. If you want to be honest, they need a quarterback. I mean, we being for real.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dark horse.
So Atlanta need a quarterback. Let's send Matt Ryan to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Trey Lance would be the dark horse.
Send Matt Ryan to the Patriots. What's wrong with that?
I think they're gonna stick with Matt Ryan. He's got some years left. They need to get some offensive line to protect that man, and I think they'll be all right offensively. Now, defensively, that's a whole nother story. But I mean, yeah, go get Kyle Pitts, man, and leave Trey Lance and Mac Jones or Justin Fields.
You want them all? You want them all to stay?
Leave one of them on the board, man.
Hey, look, so this is slightly off topic, but not. So with the Falcons, I've been hearing some rumors that they might trade Julio.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about that?
I mean,
it depends on what you're getting back in return.
What is he? 32.
He's pretty. I think he's 32. Yeah, he's my age. I think he's my age. Yeah.
I mean, as far as the trade, a couple of things that we got to look at, right? We got to look at the injuries that he's been having the last couple of years, right? Not standing on the field. You know, he had a hamstring injury last year. And just the production. I mean, he's going to get you those yards, but, you know, his main thing was what? Getting into the end zone, right?
Yeah.
Calvin
Which he hasn't been doing that great.
He hasn't. And so Calvin Ridley's coming on. A great wide receiver. Obviously, you know about that means for your fantasy team. So Calvin Ridley's coming on. Then you can get some other people. Maybe you put the Kyle Pitts. You got your Kyle Pitts, and then he fill that void for.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, fill that void for Julio, and then maybe you can get running back because they need a running back. I think Todd Gurley might be gone, or he might be still there. And like we've been saying, you need some defense. So if you're getting the right pieces to come back to help your team, then it could work. And it's a new coach, so you know, new system, maybe a new start.
Yeah.
I can't stand the Falcons, man, bro.
Why?
I just don't. I'm a Panther fan, man. You know, that's normally they rival.
Yeah, you're right.
I like Matt Ryan, but I'm a little envious. Again, I'm a Panthers fan with Cam Newton. It's like, man, he looked washed up, man, last year. So it's like,
yes, he
gets
did.
another chance. He's okay. He's going to bounce back. We just need to get him every position to help around him. This sounds like Tom Brady. But Cam, you know, he's done. He's finished.
Cam
just cut him.
Well, that's understandable for TB. He old.
Oh, yeah.
They need that
But,
help. You see what it did
I
last year. He was
look
in
at
the
his
Patriots.
team, you know? I mean, he's still playing great. Don't get me wrong. For I have
He
my
just won the Super Bowl.
He did. But yeah, man. I mean, Matt Ryan he's a good player, man. But I think it might be his time. I mean, look at the weapons. He's had weapons his entire tenure there, and they ain't never put it together. I mean, he almost got there, but they messed at him, and he was a big part of that. And also your 49ers guy was also a big part of that.
Kyle Shanahan,
Yeah.
But Kyle has had success since he left. He's had success since he left.
Yeah.
Bengals.
This is an interesting one. This is a very interesting.
The responsible pick would be the offensive tackle,
right?
No, it would be the offensive tackle.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. My man just crushed that leg up.
Penny so I'm sorry if I misspelled your name if you ever watched this, but yeah, that the guy from Oregon, I think it's Oregon. Is that where you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, give me 1 second. His name just set up.
Pine Sawa.
Sewell.
Yep.
Pine Sewell.
That's who I think they should get. But if they want to go dark horse, Jamar Chase, pair him up with his buddy, and
that's what I was thinking.
Have a reunion.
I was thinking that. I mean, you need weapons. You just lost AJ Green, so he can probably fill the void. Do you go LSU or do you go Alabama? Because Alabama got two studs too coming out. So
it's true.
The best pick to make your franchise quarterback happy is Jamar Chase, but I feel like Devontae Smith is going to be a better player, and I like Jamar Chase a lot, especially the way he played in that national championship. My man was great, but I think Devontae Smith may be. I mean, he may be a Julio Jones type guy. So that's I don't know. But you got to make your quarterback happy.
It's not the size.
No. He don't have an impact. Julio impact.
Correct.
Yeah.
Julio's a freak. He's on more than Julio.
Julio's a Randy Moss type. Randy Moss body.
You pushing the envelope,
Julio. That I get what you're saying, Harp. Like he's
pushing the envelope
with
that Randy Moss.
Yeah,
he's not Randy, but that's his style.
He's not. Yeah. He want to be.
Yeah.
Mees, come on now. We got to talk about our Patriots. What we gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna keep it brief. I'm gonna keep it. I'm looking for Trey Lance, Justin Fields, or Mac Jones. I'm looking for the Patriots to trade up into the top 10, grab them boys. But if my backup plan B, which I know Bill probably gonna do the plan B, he'll probably keep the 15th spot. Let's go get that the edge rusher, Michael Parsons. I like him. Or we need the edge rusher, we need a corner, and then maybe a wide receiver. But at that 15th spot, if we keep the 15, if we don't trade up for a quarterback, and if a quarterback ain't there when we there, go get Micah Parsons, or I'll take one of those nice corners. Probably Fairley will be there. What's his name? Caleb Farley. Or Sante Samuel Jr. probably be there. I don't think the other two guys, Georgia corner and Surtain.
JC Horn?
Yeah, JC Horn. I don't think they'll be on the
Joe Horn's son. I don't know if y'all know that.
Yeah,
that show is. And if the Cowboys and Jerry don't blow it, they need to get one of those two guys. But
they're gonna get an offensive tackle. You know what they're gonna do.
Boy, when they blow it, man, they'll trade up and go get Waddell or somebody. Trade up.
They're gonna get another wide receiver that they picked one last year. CD Lamb. Now you know Bill. You know what Bill do?
Yeah,
he gonna pick defense. He gonna pick offensive line.
Yeah.
That's what he do best. And I don't know if he can trade up. But this is an unusual year. You need somebody for the future, and you need somebody to get in there and kind of learn this system outside of Cam.
Bro, don't do that. No.
Outside of Cam.
He a 1-year guy. He'll fill in until we get our guy. Hopefully, my boy Stids make it a competition. My Patriots been saying they liking the way he looking. So Stidham, hopefully make it a competition.
He ain't getting in there over no Cam. Stop it.
I know, but you can hope, man. I'm sorry,
He
Cam.
not getting in there over Cam.
I like you as a person, Cam Newton, but I just.
So I want to say this too.
He hating on Cam.
I love Cam as a person.
I love Cam. But, okay, so with y'all's history, the Patriots, y'all have a history of trading down, turning one pick into three or whatever. But Belichick, especially at the top of the draft, he's not very good. What is y'all's feelings going in with that, knowing that?
Well, this year been different. So I think I've heard that he's listening more to the scouts. He usually kind of just does his own thing. So I heard he's listening to the scouts, and I hope I hope Kraft steps in and say, "Look, I want a QB, so give me a QB." All right. But that's what I think. I think it'll be a different year. So we'll see. I hope it's something special.
Going in, I'm not upset because our free agency rocked. We killed. We picked up a lot of good pieces. Some people might say we ain't get enough on the offensive end, but we better than what we were last year.
We loaded.
We can only get better. Now, if we trade somebody or trade up to get a quarterback, I'm not upset. If we stay in the spot, it's still going to be some players there. You're going to have at least 1 to 2 of the Alabama boys. You're going to have some, like Mies just said, the defensive end, the rusher. That's what he loves. That's what we need.
We need some depth.
So we're going to have some pieces there. Maybe the running back from Alabama there. You never know what Bill will do and where he going to go. Have we had success in the draft for some years? I mean, we might have hit on a couple of them, J.C. Jackson and things like that. But he knows what he's doing. He knows what he needs. He spent buku money in the free agency, so I'm not upset if he pick some Blojo or whoever. But I think he'll fit in and make it fit what people say the Patriot way.
The Patriot way is in Tampa.
No, don't know. That culture.
I knew Mies didn't like that.
The Patriot culture was started by Bill Belichick. Tom Brady was drafted by Bill. He's the greatest one to embrace it, and he helped cultivate it more. But that work ethic, read an article from Tom Brady will tell you where he got all that from. He got it from Bill Belichick. So I'm tired of people disrespecting Bill. Don't disrespect Bill. Don't disrespect Tom Brady, greatest coach quarterback duo ever. They needed each other, and I guarantee you, Tom won't win another ring. Even though I love you,
I think you said that last year.
I did, and I apologize to him, but he ain't winning another one.
Mark, you don't want to know what he said. He said the Bucks weren't gonna make the playoffs.
Oh man!
He said the Bucks was gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah,
you said that.
I didn't say that. I said
we made a bet, Mies.
Okay, we made a bet, and I said it. I didn't think
we made a bet.
I thought it was something else. I thought they weren't gonna win a certain amount of. Oh yeah,
it's a really tough topic. We kind of hit on it last week. I know this might spark some interest. I know it might get some feathers going, some horns up. We talked about Steph Curry.
Flowers.
Talked about Steph Curry. How you gave his flowers last week, and we kind of said he need to get in the playoffs. He still does.
He's number 10.
Why Steph shouldn't be in the MVP race, and who's the front runner? Mies, you think Steph should still be in the running for this MVP that you chanted about last week because he was just going on a rampage? What you thinking now?
Yeah, he should. Well, see, you made it easy for me because you didn't say should he be out. He shouldn't be MVP, but yeah, you can put him in the MVP.
Oh, now he's not MVP.
Because
last week he was saying he was MVP, right?
He can be an MVP. He could be an MVP race, and he should be in the MVP race. But based on the criteria that I know that the voters vote on, he's not going to win it. But I'll tell you why he should be in the running. He's averaging 31.2 points per game.
Bill doing that.
The second most or the most behind Bradley Beal. He actually has more points total than Bradley Beal, but Bradley Beal averages like a point more or something in him right now.
Point one.
He put on one of the greatest stretches in history of the NBA. He turns a disastrous Warriors season into I gotta click and watch the TV for my guy. I gotta see what he's doing. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors are 1-7. I know you got. I don't know why people put winning matters when it comes to most valuable player, but I don't think it should be because winning doesn't determine skill. It just, that's more of a team thing. He has a terrible team. You said, what does it?
I said, does it though?
So let's put it like this. LeBron James got swept in 2018.
Which time? Oh, okay.
In 2018. But he was the best player on the floor, in my opinion. He was the best point on the floor.
2015, he was the best player on the floor.
Exactly, and they lost. And so I don't think winning necessarily tells the part, because if you look at this roster that this guy has,
we can reward losing.
You said he's not. They're fighting for a playoff spot. It's not like
play in spot, not playoff. Play in.
Playoff spot, play-in spot is the same thing. If you win the play-in, you go to the what? The playoff.
That's just extra help. You know how your teacher used to give you 5 extra points so you can get that C? That's what that is.
Extra credit, yeah.
So hold on, one more thing. When Steph Curry isn't on the floor, the Warriors' offensive rating is 102.8 points per game, the lowest in the NBA. When he's on the floor, they're 111.7 points on the floor, which is like middle pack of the NBA. I don't know what else is a most valuable player. Like, what's his most valuable player than that? Like, what more can you say?
Okay, so hold on, Mark. Hold on. I just want to ask him one question. So you named all this and how this the efficiency when he's not on the court, 1-7 without him. They in the 10th seed right now. In the last 5 to 10 years, I want you to give me one MVP that won it in the last 5 to 10 years that was in the 10th seed.
He's not going to win. He's not going to win the MVP. He's not, because his team is so trash that he's carrying them, and it's just sad that this is how the voters vote. They just last year they gave
you don't get rewarded for
MVP
losing.
When LeBron James should have got it because he got more wins. It's just
here we go. I knew he couldn't go the whole show.
It's just ridiculous. But
you remember the year Kobe averaged 30 plus, and his team was in the 7th seed and he didn't win it. You remember the year Bradley Beal now. Team
but was Kobe but was Kobe in the running though? He was in the running though.
Yeah, he ended 4th. He was the 4th person in the running.
Well, Steph should be in the MVP race. I'm confused.
Okay.
He's made an argument, he's made a case, but I don't think
31.2 points a game. 5 rebounds, 6 assists almost, 43% from the 3, 48% from the field. Impressive numbers.
Almost 50-49. Probably 50-49.
But he does that every year. And to that point too, it's a lot of kids now, or a lot of guys now that finish with that 40, 50, 90. Just to be honest, just like a lot of guys get a bunch of triple doubles all the time now. Again, what I said before, you got guys, the league is, you're scoring 20, 25 more points a game. You're going to get more rebounds, you're going to score more points, you're going to get more assists. They're 10th place in the West, 31-31. I think they got 11 games to go. I do think he should be in the running just for having that terrible team where they are. But at the same time, it's like, again, I didn't want to touch on too much you giving flowers to Westbrook because I respect Westbrook's hustle. But him winning that MVP, to me, that's one of the most skewed MVPs of the last 15 years at least. Like, I don't think he should have won that MVP. Huh?
Was he not the clear face to win it though that year?
Only because he did
something only one other player in NBA history does.
Yes. Right.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive.
Yes, it is impressive. I said it was impressive. But again, just like y'all
he was in the playoffs. Don't forget that.
Yeah, he lost in the first round to a rookie, Donovan Mitchell, who y'all don't think is that good. We're talking about something else.
That's fine. We're talking about the regular season.
But how much winning did he impact? And that's the same thing we saying with Steph.
But this is the thing, though. It's not like it's a case by case. That's why you can't look at Steph Curry the same way in his team and what he does with his team the same way you look at Jokic and what he does for his team, or Embiid and what he does for his team, because the makeup of the team is different. You got to take into account that this man is the offense for the Golden State Warriors. If they didn't have him, they would be a lottery pick right now. Like, and people, you say he's been doing this. Yeah, but those past years, y'all say he had Klay Thompson. He had KD. He had Klay Thompson, KD. I ain't going to say Draymond because Draymond is the orchestrator. He ain't good for points. He's the orchestrator.
Another player.
Derrick, don't do it.
Don't disrespect Hall of Fame Dre, dog.
Stop.
He's just another player on the court. That's
all right, but look, but me, from your logic, what you're saying then, where you got Russell Westbrook finishing in the MVP race?
He ain't in the MVP race.
Why not? Because he's doing the same thing he did his MVP season. He almost got the flowers
about. He just gave him flowers about all this stuff.
Well, that's because he's averaging. But if you put Russell Westbrook in the MVP race, then you got to put Bradley Beal in the MVP race because they both. Bradley Beal is doing something impressive too, but it's the fact that to me, Russell Westbrook makes the team go, but Bradley Beal, because he doesn't. He's just offense. He's a bucket, but. You can argue Bradley Beal is the reason why the Wizards are winning, which I don't think, but you can't argue that
when Bradley was out, they was winning without him.
But you can't argue without him. But you can't argue that Andrew Wiggins is the reason. It's clear cut Steph Curry. It's not clear cut Russell Westbrook to everybody, if you get what I'm saying. So I can't put him.
Steph Curry.
I put Julius Randle before. Everybody have
watched Steph Curry against the Mavs.
I put Julius Randle in before I put Russell Westbrook. You say that again?
Say that again?
Did you not see what Steph and the Warriors did yesterday?
Nothing.
Trail by 43, went on a 28-0 run.
Look, man, everybody have an off game.
He had his three, maybe four best players on the roster at the time. Now since play out.
Can you mind naming those players for me? I just want to know who
you
those four best players.
Andrew Wiggins, Draymond, and you can consider Oubre.
Jesus Christ! Oh my!
I mean, he's the third leading.
I'll be honest, he's pretty terrible.
Besides Dre,
he's the third leading scorer in the team. I mean, what's Draymond?
All right, I got a question then. Who's the third leading scorer on the Wizards?
Is it Bertans or?
Yeah, it might have been Bertans.
Maybe Bertans. I'm not for sure. Maybe it's Davis Bertans.
Might be Gilbert Arenas.
It ain't no Gilbert Arenas.
But either way, they in the 10th seed, just like the Warriors are in the 10th seed. Westbrook is putting up, especially over like the last 15 games, he's averaging a triple-double like his MVP season. I mean, he ain't doing it the whole season like he did, but he been hurt like we touched on. I mean, I feel like if you're going to put Steph here, who has came on more later in the season, I feel like you kind of got to do that with Brody.
Steph been averaging damn near 30 the whole season.
I mean, okay. Yeah, he's been averaging 30, but I love to know how many shots he putting up a night.
Who?
He got to put up the shots. It ain't like he got a choice.
But again, when I got Brad Beal out here who's missing time, but then I don't even know my man's first name, Bertans. You got Rui Hachimura or whatever.
That's a better team than what Clay. And then don't disrespect Daniel Gafford. That boy he balling, dog. My boy Steph ain't got that. Steph ain't even got a Daniel Gafford.
Yeah, Gafford did something to your boy tonight.
He nice. I've been watching him lately.
He got something he gonna hang in his trophy room.
He got heart.
Who's the front runner right now, man? Who y'all front runner?
Jokic
is the MVP right now. Jokic
is the MVP
right now. He have career highs in points. He have a career highs in field goal percentage, 3-point shooting, rebounds. Starting to keep going, assists.
But what takes it over the top?
Since Murray went down, he is 6-1. And y'all remember when I told y'all Michael Porter Jr. in my top 10 and how y'all tried to crush me? He's averaging 25 points since Murray went down, shooting 57% from the field.
Okay.
I
told y'all, let's see what he do.
I think what takes it over the top.
Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say this real quick. I think what takes it over the top for Jokic is the fact that he's played like the majority of the season. He hasn't missed
all season,
any time or none at all. So he missed like one game. So I think he's the clear cut. He's clear cut. So
and he's second in triple doubles.
Oh yeah. Russ is killing them, but he definitely is.
Who y'all got finishing 1, 2, and 3 in the voting? I got Jokic, Embiid, and then probably Giannis. I mean, it'll be Giannis and Embiid. I mean, you can say what you want about Giannis, but he putting up the same numbers.
Giannis
he is. And they playing good basketball right now.
Yeah, I like the Bucks this year. They flying under the radar.
Embiid, he probably can't win it because he missed so many games, 30 plus games. And out of 72, you think he's gonna go off 30? I think he missed 30 plus games. Okay, he ain't playing the backs. He ain't doing that. And then you get scratched right before the Bucks game, when a prime time game. These are games you play in. You don't play in those OKCs and all that. You play in these primetime games so we can see what you do. That's what people want to see.
Right. Yes, but at the same time, how many MVPs does Shaq have? He has one MVP. Shaquille O'Neal got one MVP, and it's the same reason that Embiid probably never get one. I mean, when you got a body that big and you got to carry it around like this, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, man. That's difficult. He's never been able to stay healthy. This was his year. If he was ever going to win the MVP, this was his chance. And yeah, you're right. It ain't going to happen, but I ain't going to sit here and be like my man's just, missing games or whatever. I mean, it's the ultimate goal for that team, and their window is closing more and more every year.
For the Sixers?
Yeah.
I think it's Jokic, Embiid, great. I think that'll be the final three.
I mean, you can argue harder.
Hopefully Julius Randle. Hopefully Julius Randle get into the. Julius Randle need to get. They need to get that man up in there, and he been balling, man.
That's his flowers too.
He was on my list, man. I love my boy.
But you had to go Russ.
Yeah, I had to do Russ, man. Triple
double. Russ been killing them.
That shit. I mean, that's the triple doubles is impressive. It's very impressive.
I don't say that. They're not that impressive to me, man. You got these guys, they're getting triple doubles in 3 quarters now.
But he's averaging a triple double. Dribble double. It ain't like it's like
that's hard.
It's average. That's
point guard.
Okay, it's hard, but is it hard when you got guys knowingly going to get out of the way to box out a rebound so you can run up and get them? You know what I'm saying?
How many people really boxing out though?
Yeah.
What's my man that plays for the Pelicans now?
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yo, you can go to YouTube and
they did. No, they did used to give him some rebounds.
I mean, he was literally
I'm pretty sure he was bullying him.
That was that year. That was
his MVP season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was that year.
That's like Brett Favre letting Strahan sack him to break the record. You got the rest of the sacks, but it's just like
that's funny.
People do it. It's history. Yeah. You want away from history? You mean why not?
You make history. Make history.
He made it.
I bet nobody did that for Oscar Robertson and say, hey, bro, when the ball come off the rim, off the free throw line, just clear out and let me get him. That's not a sport. That's not sport.
He's still doing it now on a different team.
Yeah. That's why they in the 10th seed. So
hey,
they moving on up. They got the best.
I'm talking about the Flowers.
The Wizards got the best record in the last month or 3 weeks, a month coming up. They got the best record, 8-2.
The Wizards.
Yeah. They got the best, so they balling. They might move up.
He's been hooping lately.
They only one game, 2 games.
He looks like this every regular season. I want to see when his play-in get here and when it's game playing time. It's impressive, man. I mean, it's a craft. He's good at it.
He ain't trying to hold it to a standard.
I mean, but when it comes to assists, you can't necessarily control if a guy makes a shot or not. So that's
you can't. But I can control how many times I got the ball before passing to someone who shoots it.
He does have a high usage. He does have a high usage rate. And he does lead the league in turnovers. He does lead the league with 5 where he did for a while.
That's all
I'm sure Draymond right behind him.
He does. But all the best players in the league at the top of the turnover list.
But LeBron turns the ball
LeBron turns it over. Tatum turns it over a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we want to get into this last topic. How much does coaching matter or play a part in winning, losing in the NBA? Does it play a part? Is it mostly on the players? You know, the coaches do play a big part in the X's and O game, and you know how the team is constructed, the fight in the team, and things like that. So, Mees, you brought this up. You wanted to kind of hit on this. I mean, obviously, LeBron ain't had too many good coaches, so does it really matter when it comes to the NBA about winning and losing?
I don't necessarily think that coaching it plays a part, but it's a very small, it's a minimal part. I think it's with the winning and losing. When I say that, I think that coaching is more about in the NBA making sure your players are prepared, keeping them in touch, you know, like with the game, and because you know, an 82 game, 72 game season, I'm sure you know players get, you know, they got other things going on. But it's more like making sure, you know, they're ready. Egos are stroked. Good coaching to me, I measure good coaching in the NBA, not off offense, because, you know, it's a players league. And the offense is such, it's you know, you're going to shoot threes. Everybody's shooting threes. Everybody kind of does what they want in a sense. But it's defense and effort, because in this day, it's hard. If you look at Tibbs, it's hard to get, you know, if you can get your players to play your style and to buy into what you want to do, then, you know, you're going to win. And I think that's what makes good coaching is the defensive scheming, effort, and I mean, just being able to get your players to buy into what you're doing. Because if you notice, like a lot of coaches, like Nate McMillan. If you know Nate McMillan, look at him. He took over for the guy in Atlanta. They gave up. You know, a lot of these teams, sometimes they give up on their coach. And that's, you know, they're usually the lowest on the defensive end. They're not diving for balls. They're not giving, they don't care. And that's how the Hawks look at first. Now,
basically quitting on the coach.
And so that's how I measure coaching in a sense in the NBA. It plays a part, but I mean, at the end of the day, the ball is it's a superstar league, and they determine what's going on. And also, one more thing, coaches can't necessarily pick their personnel. You got like Pop can, but and Doc Rivers probably could when he was with the Clippers. I think he was like GM or something too. Not no more, but they, like, you look at Steve Kerr. A lot of people blame Steve Kerr, say his coaching and he knew coaching. I'm like, well, he doesn't even get to pick his own players. You think he would have picked some of these guys? Like, he can't control. He just coaches or does what he can with the players he got. And for the younger teams, I guess there is a little more coaching, but times are changing. So I guess I would have to kind of sway that. But as a sense into like the better teams and a little more back in the day when it was more veterans and things like that in the league, you didn't have to have like a more X's and O's. You had to have that a little bit, but it's more about just making sure that the players their egos are stroked and that they come into play every night and prepared, you know.
Yes.
So you made some good points when you brought up Thibodeau and Atlanta's coach,
McMillan.
Now, you say it plays a minimal part. Now, it feels like it plays a little bit more than a minimal part the way you explaining it, and I agree with that. Especially what you just touched on with the motivation with the younger teams. Well, I mean, them younger teams turn into older teams. Just like how we saying with this Mac Jones kid. He's going to have to be coached up, you know, for the pro game. I know it started in college with Saban, probably the best example for that.
Right.
I feel like coaching in the NBA, it's like a double-edged sword, man. Like, like if you look at like the Nets, they have a coach, but I mean, he ain't coached nothing before this. They don't really need a coach. They need guidance. That's what they need.
Right. Exactly.
I don't feel like he's giving him that guidance because they do what they want. And then to turn, and I know we haven't mentioned our boys tonight, but I'm going to because I'm disappointed in them. My Celtics. They need coaching, but I love Brad Stevens. Like him a lot. At this point, X's and O's, he's got that. But as far as reaching these guys and stroking egos, like you said, I don't know if he's the guy for that. I really don't.
He's a great example now that you say that. Like, he's an X and O. Like, Brad Stevens is probably one of the most smartest coaches when it comes to the game of basketball. But, you know, like you saying, like, when you get to a certain point, these guys like Tatum and like they're superstars. They're all stars now. You know, Tatum is on the cusp. You know, they need, you know, they're gonna do what they want to do. You gotta kind of, you know, stroke that ego a little bit, and you can tell those guys are kind of getting a little fed up with Brad.
Yeah, the message ain't get received. And then again, to you, when you said New York, Thibodeau, I mean, he's a good coach. He has a reputation for running his players in the ground a little.
Yeah.
But you can tell with that New York team. I mean, if you go a year or two ago, they didn't have the exact same team, but they had a lot of those pieces.
Right.
And I mean, they were 10, 15 wins. They thought they were getting Zion. Yeah. You know, and now they're the fourth. Nope. I think they're tied for fourth or whatever. You got Randall will finish at minimum top 10 in MVP, and I would have never thought that he would do anything like that. And to me, I contribute that all to coaching.
Yeah, no, and that's why I kind of, it messed with me when I was preparing and trying to prepare for that, because it's like you look at Tom Thibodeau and what he's doing, and I like you. That's all him. Like, I don't credit nobody else but him, because it looks like a Tom Thibodeau team. Like, this looks like the Bulls in a sense. They got that, they gritty, and that's what they do. They play defense, they gritty, and they got their guy that they gonna go to. You just like, you know what they gonna do. It's just you got to stop it. But they tough, you know, and so just like the Timberwolves were tough when they had Jimmy. They were kind of tough. They were fighting. You know, Jimmy Butler is like, you know, that's his guy too. Like, those guys are part of the top. Like, that's his ID. Like, those are his guys. And that's when I look at Tom Thibodeau, it's Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler. Like, those are the guys, and they're tough. And so, I mean, that's all Tibbs, the Knicks. That's all. And I mean, you got to, even with Frank Vogel, like, Frank Vogel is a really good coach. If you look at what he's doing defensively, being able to keep these guys motivated and playing defense when, you know, your two best players been out, and they've been like a top 3, number 1 for most of it, but a top.
Yeah, they were number 1 healthy defense.
I mean, they were number 1 not healthy without LeBron. They stayed that for a while without LeBron or AD, and that's impressive to me when it comes to, you know, Frank Vogel and the team that he had without your two best players. So it's a testament to his coaching. So I guess I would have to change that a little bit and say, yeah, it does play more of a part now that I'm looking at it, and you guys are kind of explaining it.
It plays a part, but
I just think
these players are soft.
Yeah, they're
soft. I mean, how much coaching can you do for soft players?
Yeah.
And so you mentioned Brad. I mean, you already know how I feel. You can't have young talent. Then you got to coach the team. Then you got to put a game plan in. Then you got to try to get these young players together.
Teach the team.
Then you got to deal with attitudes.
They don't even practice. You know,
you ain't practicing, so you trying to switch up lineups. It's a lot they got to deal with. But at the end of the day, this year's probably his shakiest year that he had. But he's still.
As far as the coaching job, no, I don't think so.
What do you mean?
I think the Kyrie was the most shaky because he did not. I mean, I don't know no behind the scenes. We still talking about Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he connected with Kyrie on any level.
Well, Kyrie didn't want Steve Nash. He said, "Oh, we're gonna be coaching. I'm gonna be coaching one night. He gonna be coaching."
Yeah,
Kyrie don't want to coach.
He's a lunatic. So listen, he is a lunatic. But you got, but like you got, like I look at a Phil Jackson, who I consider one of the greatest coaches ever, and it ain't because of no plays to call. I mean, when Mike was there, his best play was all y'all stand over here, Mike. You stand over there.
Tex Winters was the orchestrator.
Yeah,
Phil was
exactly right.
Phil was the guy. Phil knew how to handle all them. Yeah, he knew how to handle them boys, and that's
sometimes you need a guy for that, especially when you get to the point. Like, imagine going out there, KD, Harden, Kyrie. Hey, look, guys, we're gonna go over some high pick and rolls. We don't need that. We don't need to. We need you to talk to Kyrie so he don't want to take another week vacation. And I don't think Brad Stevens can handle that when he was on our team. Man. It don't come off like he can. And sometimes your team is a reflection of the coach a lot of times, man. You know how how we talk about the Knicks. Like me said, you can just watch that team and somebody say, that was like a Tom Thibodeau coach team.
Yeah.
Do.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have that definition. That what is your niche? What do you bring to this team that defines this as your type of team? You know, Phil Jackson would let his team. I mean, if his team was playing great, he had the same demeanor. If his team was down 20, he had the same demeanor. He's not a yell at a guy, call 15 timeouts. All of that, you have to get down 20 points for him to call a timeout. And in the huddle, he say, hey, Kobe, you need to play better. That's it. I'm not telling you to run. You need to play better. Right. This is your team.
Basically, hold the players accountable.
Yes, hold them accountable.
I think you need some of that. You need some.
It's hard.
You need some teaching. You need some kind of backfire. And you need to tell these players, you messing up. Let's get it together. Let's go win ball games and, let's execute like we're supposed to do. We got the game plan. We got the resume. We know how to win. We know how to get on the floor and down for these 50-50 balls. I think sometimes when you're losing a lot and you're not really clicking with other players and you feel like you had a couple bad games, sometimes players get down on themselves. But most of these coaches, it's a couple things they need. They need leadership, X and O's, and they need to have the locker room, be likable. When you can be likable, then players can kind of gravitate to you, and then that's when you can kind of win that locker room, and kind of people can kind of dive in and trust you. So I think that's the three things NBA coaching is what you need, to especially have a job forever, but you still got to win ball games.
More black coaches. We need more black coaches. I say that because it's a lot of black players in the league, and
almost all of them.
In this time, it's like it's not, and so you can relate more to a person that kind of probably came from your background. We need more Ty Lues, even though I know you don't like Ty Lue, but we do need more like Ty Lues and guys like that. But look, to that point, Sam Cassell, like you need those guys. They are the guys that need to have these head coaching jobs because they can talk to those boys how you used to could talk to say, hey, you need to play better. Nowadays, if one of these coaches tell them, Brad Stevens might tell Jason Tatum need to play better, he might not receive it the way because it's not you don't
relate to him.
You don't relate to him. Tyler, one of these black coaches, hey man. Come on, man. Pick that ish up, man. Come on. Yeah.
Right, you mentioned Ty Lue. Like, I know we were kind of critical of him last pod or two ago. I don't think he's a good X and O coach at all. Like, but he doesn't have to be. How you said what they say a lot, and this more so probably in football that I hear this, you need to be a leader of men. And I feel like Ty Lue is a leader of men. And that's why he does have a coaching job in the NBA. And that's something you can't teach, I don't think. That's just something you gotta go through different things, And Ty Lue's a former player. He knows how to talk to these guys.
They know.
Correct. Most of them are. That's just like Doc Rivers, former player.
Yeah.
Know what it takes to be on a team, coach these players up, know what he needed when he was a player and what it took to kind of win the locker room. But
I like guys like Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse I like Nick Nurse. He's a really good coach.
Okay, then that's interesting. You bring him up.
I like my boy Nick.
Because I think Nick Nurse is the exact other end of the spectrum for this. He's another guy that's a great X and O guy, but if you watch him on the sidelines, I mean, he's frantic. He panics. Some guys might respond to that. But, like, if that was my coach and he's just flipping out every time and, I mean, basically, like, pulling on the referee for them to do something different, I don't like that. Like to me,
I would like that. He's fighting for me. My coach is fighting for me. Like he's fighting to get those calls for me. I think Nick Nurse is very I think he knows how to talk to his players. He knows how to get the best out of them. For the most part, every night. I mean, I just think he's one of those player type coaches that gets his guys going every night or for the majority of the season. You know, so. I mean, I like, and he's an X and O guy. I like that. He's a little bit of both.
Definitely X and O guy.
Defensive guy. That man he'll drop a D. He brought out that boxing one on. I think it was Steph Curry in the finals.
And Kimba against us last year.
Let's see what lottery pick they're gonna have this year, though.
Oh yeah, they definitely
down in Tampa.
Exactly. How about that?
I'm not gonna hold this season against them, man. They had to play in Tampa. They ain't even get to play in Toronto.
Oh,
so Lord. I got a question for y'all, piggybacking off of this topic.
Okay.
And this is something that my Celtics, again, we don't talk about them. Do you feel okay if you kind of see a coach is not connecting with your young stars? And I know this is a superstar league, but there's been a lot of conversation of, do you move off of one of your stars that may not mesh well with your coach, or do you always move the coach for the star? Now, me personally, I feel like you always move off of the coach, but like more so lately, you got guys, and I know Jerry Sloan done this a couple times in his career, and a lot of other notable coaches, they'll move on from a guy like Darren Williams, not because he's not great, but because I just don't get along with you. What do y'all feel trumps what? And under what situation do you feel you sway either way?
I think you always go players driven league. You can find how many coaches in the league? 32. How many players in the league, right? So most of the time you go players. And then especially, I mean, if you mention our team, the Celtics, we young, 4 and 5 years in this league. We young. So let's see another couple years and see what happens. They just signed new contracts. Let's see another couple years and see what happens. So I think you go young. You can always hopefully find another coach. If it don't work, get rid of it and just move on from that.
You ain't paying Brad all the money. You paying the players.
I agree.
But if it don't work,
always work out like
trade.
a Mark.
But who says the trade gonna work?
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't always work out like a Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr situation. You know, like it doesn't always turn out that way. That's probably the best example of that. But I mean, because like you're saying, give it a couple more years. Well, I mean, in another year, Derek, Tatum might say, "Man, I want out of here."
Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming.
Oh, God. And it might be because of the system that's being ran. Like Marcus Smart,
it's because you ain't got no players around him that can actually compete at a high level. You got these young boys out here that don't know what they're doing and shouldn't be in the NBA. That's what it is. You need to be blaming Danny Green. Danny Ainge. That's what you need to be doing.
You need to put the vets around them. There's some vets around them boys.
You have to.
Yeah. That's the only way to win. That's the only way to win to win a championship in this league is when it comes to playoff time. You got to have them vets because that should go to. You know what I'm saying?
We were at the peak. We were at the peak. Why are we drafting?
And when y'all were running Eastern Conference Finals, y'all were vet heavy, like Marcus Morris and Crowder and
Al Horford.
Yeah.
And you know who we drafted? We got first year players that's on our rotation on the bench.
Peyton.
And I tried to tell y'all earlier in the group, we are a young team. People tried to say we weren't young and all this. I know the team. We are young. Well,
I'm glad y'all didn't. I wanted y'all to get Vucevic, but he ain't looking too good. So I'm kind of glad y'all didn't. Y'all
you was really high on him. You was really high.
I was very high on him. I thought it was
the system?
Orlando. I don't know because Orlando
get rid of him.
Orlando been playing better. Orlando been playing better since they traded them boys off. So
when you playing for nothing, you just play a little looser.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess we wrapping this thing up or what?
Yeah.
We're wrapping this thing up. Quick announcements, guys. The Nets and the 76ers have officially clinch an NBA playoff spot. Hopefully we can get on that list. Hopefully it's higher than a 7 seed. No, higher than the 7 seed. So that's some good news from them. But what we talking about next week when we get back on here, man? We need to dive into. I think we need like a spicy topic. I think we need a spicy topic.
It'll be May next week, baby. That's playoff time. Let's separate the men from the boys, baby.
That's right. This is what we call the elites, the superstars, the all-stars. This is when the lights are bright and you got to make some noise and get your team over the hump. Can you do it?
Storm is coming in May.
Hopefully Steph in the play-in, but we'll see.
The storm will be coming in May.
Oh, he'll be in the play-in.
What storm? Is it a hurricane coming?
Hurricane LeBron is on the way.
Here we go.
Hurricane.
On the way.
Mark over here wiping his eyes, man. I know you're hungry, man. You want to get some food.
Lakers make a run. They make a run.
For our listeners, please, I know we need to set it up and do it a little better, but please send us some questions that we can get to at the end, like we want to interact with y'all and, maybe in the comments or email or social media, like leave some questions and we can talk about them.
Facts. So leave some questions. We can get to them. Episode 3, fellas. We're going to be back here. Some more hot topics. Maybe we can get some guests on here and start debating those real topics. LeBron.
I don't know if they're ready for that.
Why Tim Duncan had a better career than Kobe. Some of those hot topics.
That's coming up.
Come on now. We need to get into that. But Talkin' Noise Podcast, episode 3 for Mees, for Harper, for D. Cheston. We out of here, man.
Peace.